How you guys doing today? Good morning. Good morning to everybody that's here. Good morning to everybody in the crypto world. Woke up this morning. Every day that I wake up, I'm always um hoping for the crypto market to be insanely green, right? The first thing that I'm checking as soon as I wake up is what the markets are doing. Didn't really look positive. The first thing that popped up on my phone was I saw a um notification for XRP and the movement that was there. So I already knew that it definitely wasn't going to be a positive day. Depending how you look at it. I mean, you can look at it positively and say this is a chance to purchase, a chance to buy. You can always look at it that way, for sure. Um, but good morning to everybody. Oh. It is an early morning, 6:11 a.m. and maybe earlier for some others. Jay, happy New Year to you as well. Um, All right, there we go. I'll do that. Not sticking. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right. Thank you guys for being here. We got 19 people here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for more videos, like this one. If you guys want to check out my link for BTCC, that link will be in the chat. It is a great platform that I've been using for, over a year. And you can get a 10% deposit bonus when you put in your first deposit. You can also have extra bonuses up to $10,055. Enjoy up to 40% lower trading fees. Also, you can trade all the way up to a 500x leverage if you wanted to, but you can even trade to a minimum of a 2x leverage, which is great because 5x leverages are still like 20%. If you lose 20%, you lose everything that you invested. 2x leverage is about 50%. So a lot of times you won't see that 2x the 50% drop, so then you can experience a longer term hold rather than buying. Let's say if you had $100, you can buy $200 worth and hold that for the long term instead of $100. Or if you had $1,000, you can hold $2,000 worth without seeing it drop by 50% basically. So feel free to check out that link down below. It's a platform that I've been using. It's a great platform, and you can trade a lot of different positions. No KYC, no VPN, um, so you don't have to worry about utilizing it um, like giving all your information and whatnot. So it is a good platform. But the current crypto market, the state of the crypto market, is not necessarily the most positive. The last 2 days haven't really been the most positive, but the days prior, we saw some major positivity. um, so the market is sitting at a $3.08 trillion market cap. You can see the coin market cap index is sitting at $191 or 6.5 million dollar market cap. Not really much of a change from where it even was, even though you saw an increase to 199. It still was at a 6.6, 6.7 million dollar market cap. So not much of a change that has happened there. Um, but Bitcoin is down by 2% in the last 24 hours. In the last 7 days, it's still up by 2 or 3%. But, obviously a lot of things were up a lot further. Same thing goes for Ethereum and XRP. Ethereum is down by 3% today. It's still up by 6.4 or sorry 4.6% in the last 7 days. XRP down 7% today. 7%. Still up 13% in the last 7 days, but seeing it at 240, you want to kind of see it stay there, and it just hasn't um, made those moves to stay wherever it is. BNB is down by about 3%, 2% for the last 7 days. Solana is 2% decrease for today, 7 or 8% for the last 7 days. You still see Dogecoin is up quite a bit over the last week, but then is down about 5%, 4.5% to be more specific, for the last 24 hours. 6% down for Cardano, below the 40-cent mark. I still feel like there are multiple steals in this market. SUI at $1.78. You have Litecoin at $80. Avalanche back down to $13.82. That's not something I wanted to see at all. I want to see it continue to rise like everybody else. But, we're going to have these retracements after seeing some decent sized growth for a number of days. It makes sense that you're going to see some retracements. It's just none of us want to see it, H bar is sitting at about a 12-cent mark. Kronos is below the 10-cent mark. Just below the 10-cent mark. It's currently at about 9.9 cents. Let's see. Pepe. Let's actually look at the meme coin markets. We can look at the top gainers and all that stuff. But for meme coins, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Pepe are the ones that really lead it. You can see Meme Core, you can see Bonk and Pudgy Penguins and a lot of other meme coins here. The total meme coin market is at a $44.7 billion market cap. So there's a lot of money that's flowing through meme coins. It's just not necessarily for the long term, in my opinion. Because meme coins are primarily just to be able to make gains. So if you're making those gains, now, if you make those gains right now, people are going to sell, and you're not going to see that long-term hold of it. But Dogecoin sits at a $23.9 billion market cap, Shiba Inu at a $5 billion market cap, Pepe at a $2.6 billion market cap, and official Trump rounds out the list of things that are over $1 billion. You have Meme Core that's at $2 billion as well, but that rounds out the list that is over $1 billion. Everything else, you can see that under $1 billion mark, but still Bonk is at a 950 million, so basically borderline $1 billion there. There's a lot of money that's flowing into some of these plays. This is where a lot of people think that they can make a ton of money. And you can make a ton of money, but it is highly risky on, if you fully make a ton of money, or, if you can actually lose a decent amount of money. So make sure that you are not risking everything that you own on one single play because it's at a $10 million market cap and everybody else says it has the potential to get to $4 billion. While it can get to $4 billion, the journey of getting there could be lengthy, or it might not happen at all because you might not have the popularity enough to get there. So make sure you're doing your research on whether it does have that popularity, then you can move forward. Someone said paying you a meme coin to hold is paying you a meme coin to hold. I mean, it is, but it's not something that you would hold for a long period of time. And by long period of time, I mean, through multiple altcoin seasons, right? You shouldn't hold it through that. You should be selling at peaks of altcoin seasons and then buying back in at the low of whatever the bear market is, to then see that. Those are the ones that you really want to time. And timing the market is tough, but with meme coins, when you see major popularity in the market, meme coins are going to be at their highest, their peaks. And you're going to sell at that point, and then you can find other meme coins in the bear market, ones that are created like a Pepe that sat at a maybe 100, 200, 300 million dollar market cap, and now it sits at a 2.6 billion market cap, which could go a lot further to a potential $40 billion market cap. Before then, probably retracing because it doesn't have any major value. So that's something that I would look at. I think it's a bear market, folks. If the January 15th clarity markup fails in committee, sell, 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 unless you want to watch your bag go down another 50%. But that's where it's crazy, is because if you look at a lot of the altcoins, or not a lot of the altcoins, actually a lot of the altcoins, they haven't actually even gotten close to their all-time high. People will say that it's a bear market and they're going to continue with that. And the more that they say it's a bear market, the more that people push that everything's going to fall, the more likely that altcoins are going to end up running at that point. And that's what we're kind of waiting for. Everybody in the world for the longest time was saying altcoin season is mid 2025, end of 2025. It's going to be 2026. They're pushing for that. And as we see these things not happen, or as we see that many people are saying that it doesn't happen and things start to really fall. But then once we get to a point where everybody's like, you got to sell, this is the worst news in the world. If this doesn't happen, then everything falls. Once we get to that point where a lot of people give up, that's when things start to take off. If you notice for let's say 2020, when everybody thought that the stock market was going to absolutely crash because of all businesses that were being shut down. What happened to the stock market? We hit new all-time highs. Things were skyrocketing to levels that nobody could predict. I sold a lot of my stocks because I saw that the market was making moves, and I was looking for very, very low levels. Like I was looking for, I think it was Facebook. It was at like 150 or 130. It ended up getting to like 139 and then absolutely took off. And I didn't get a chance to rebuy it because I thought that was a fake move. So yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot of people that say the same thing. I missed out. I thought the market was gonna crash. I thought the market was not. Look, investing in crypto, investing in stocks, investing in real estate, investing in a lot of stuff is about patience, right? And I think when you see something like an ADA, right? ADA is very valuable to most people that hold it, especially, and it's sitting at closer to the lowest of lows than it is to the high. You know that you haven't seen the altcoin season yet, and the altcoin season or the cycle may be completely different. And yeah, I'm excited for what is going to be. I'm patient. I don't need it to run right now. I would love to see it make huge moves. I would love to see a bunch of positivity, not only for YouTube and the conversation and the hype and excitement and people succeeding, but also for the gains that I can have and what crypto is going to do in the future and how much in the conversation it's going to be for everybody else. Government, high government officials, right? You have businesses, you have banks. I want to see that. So, you can make your own decision. I'm not going to tell anybody that they need to sell or they need to hold. I'm not going to tell anybody what you should do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Am I afraid to see XRP come back down below $1? No. Am I afraid to be losing on XRP, officially losing on XRP? No, I'm not. Because I understand what crypto is going to be in the end, and you have to go through a bunch of crap, right? You have to go through a bunch of stuff, a bunch of negativity in order to get to where you should get to, where you believe you're going to get to. So if I see XRP at a $10 mark, it might take retracing to $1.50. It might take retracing in a couple of steps. The market is not going to be insanely positive all the time. So the market will rise and show its potential and take another crash. It's always going to have movement like that. It's always going to have the positivity, negativity, positivity, negativity. Every time we see any type of major positivity, and then we see negativity around the corner, people are like, "This is the end of the world." It's like it just rose. Like if you look at Pepe, a meme coin, it just rose 49% over the last 7 days, right? If you take that out and you only look at 24 hours, people will say it's the end of the world, right? It's 8%, it's going to drop another 8%. It's up 49% for the last 7 days. It's going to see retracements. You're going to see that. Um, Whether that retracement is lengthy or whether it's met with many people that are starting to leverage trade and then end up getting liquidated, who knows? But it's not something that bothers me. Yeah, I'm just flowing. I'm just flowing. Everyone keeps asking XRP this, XRP that, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, and no movements. Y'all can't time this. I've heard countless times XRP is going to go to the moon next week, etc. Yeah, I mean, look, the XRP to the moon category or conversation and many other positions as well, going to the moon, making huge moves, is kind of just telling us that we believe altcoin season is around the corner. Altcoin season has been around the corner for the last year, right? It's been here. It's had the opportunity to do so or to do that, but I think with everybody sitting and waiting and believing that this is going to happen, and then also maybe some institutional manipulation with the ETFs and everything that happens there. um I feel as though it didn't happen because of how many people were as positive. If you're so sure that something's going to happen, the entire market, and we're just sitting on our hands, nobody's buying. Nobody's creating that green. Nobody's making those moves to make it happen. Bitcoin needs to, need to see that flow from billions that are flowing into Bitcoin to billions that are flowing into the altcoin season or altcoin market. Um, so I get what you're saying. I mean, I'm patient. That's the thing. Just hold and be patient. That's it. Yeah, I agree. I can't I can't just hold for 4 more years. I'm 54. I don't have that much time. So I'm sure you do. I'll say that sparingly. I'm sure you do have a enough time. I don't know what's going on in your life. I really don't. Um, but it's always great to see the positivity. It would always be great to see that growth. But that's what the markets are about. It doesn't it honestly doesn't care about where your age is. It doesn't care about what bills you need to pay. It doesn't care about whether you need the money now or tomorrow. It cares about the patience. Like it's always rewarded patience. Every market has always rewarded patience. If you are patient with the position that you are in, so long as it does have utility, the markets will reward patience. And it does suck to say I don't want to have to hold for another year. I don't want to have to hold for another 5 years. I do want to hold majority of my cryptocurrency for multiple years after today. However, I still also want to profit in the short term. You can live to be 100, right? Yeah, that's what Harper tells me, and I was like, I'm not living to be 100. I can't even do the things that I want to do at older ages. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die on a roller coaster with excitement. I'm gonna be 95 years old riding a roller coaster, and then my heart gives out or something. Just being excited and having fun. If I can walk, honestly, rolling around in a wheelchair, I'll do it. Um, hold XRP since 2018. That's great. Enjoy the ride. When in doubt, zoom out. I've heard that. Um, I'm over the ride. I got to do. 5 year ride is long enough. I'm way in the green. so I can take profits. So yeah, if you feel as though you can take profits, then go ahead and do that, right? I'm not telling anybody they have to hold. I'm just saying that if you are looking to make, a lot of money, and I'll say a lot of money because I don't know what your amount is that you started with or anybody started with. You could start with $1,000 and turn it into tens of thousands or potentially hundreds, right? You could start with tens of thousands of dollars and turn it into hundreds or $1 million, right? So I don't know where you're starting with, and I don't know what's going to be considered a lot of money and what you expect to make, but patience will reward, or yeah, patience will get rewarded in the market. And that's why I'm looking to be patient. And I have forever cryptos, right? I have, XRP that's sitting in my Ledger wallet. I have BNB. I have Ethereum. I have, YFI. I have, trying to think, Jasmine Coin over there, CRO, AVAX, Cosmos. I think that those all will be wildly successful. And I'm excited to see that success. I know you're talking to Joe who says he's 54. I'm just chiming into that conversation because I don't think that I'm going to or want to live to 100. I question every time I get a some sort of like either gas pain or something in my abdomen at 34, almost 35, at 34, and I'm just like, oh, it's the end. You feel like a sharp pain, like really, and then it just goes away, and you're like, what the heck was that? Did I just die for a second? Like, oh, I thought it was over. And then what's crazy is maybe 2 hours later I saw a video. I didn't say like I thought it was over out loud, but 2 hours later I saw a video of this guy who basically said the same thing. Like you see a sharp, you would feel a sharp pain in like your side or something. You're like, you think that like you're being sent to heaven at this point. And then it happens again. You're like, oh, it's definitely over this time. I don't know. It was hilarious. I was rolling on the floor. Um, Bro, you're not helping me get rich with advice. Just give advice on how much to invest and to be a millionaire in 3 years, but not huge investments. $100 in a coin, for example. That's tough. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I can turn $100 into $1 million, or $1,000 into whatever. I'm strictly just coming out here and talking about the positions that I own, right? It's not, if you can learn from what I'm doing, then that's great. And if I can teach you something, then that's also great. But yeah, I can't say that I'm here to be like, oh, I'm the guru and I'm gonna make everybody multiple tens or hundreds or millions of dollars based on me just being here or you copying me. That's not the goal here. I mean, the goal for you may be to make a lot of money, and if that's the goal, you know, go out and do it, right? They say that um, the best way to learn something is is by doing it. You know, that's why a lot of people value, or a lot of businesses value, experience over, just having a degree. Book knowledge goes only so far until you get out into the real world. Um, Mike Tyson said it best: everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. So you get out there in the real world and start winning, start losing, and but you have to learn from those mistakes, right? There's people that will go out there and they start losing, um, or they'll win one and they think they can win every single one, having a gambling mindset. That's not the way to go. Talk 500 USD and how to turn it into $1 million in 3 years. You can diversify. Just tell me what coin. There's no one coin to say I'm gonna turn $500 into $1 million in 3 years. You're giving yourself a timeline. That's not being patient in the market. You could turn $500 into a lot of money by putting it into a massive utility play and then just letting it sit there, setting it and forgetting it. But to go, I need $1 million in 3 years. I have $500. Do something with this. It's like, what? First of all, no. Uh, and second of all, there's no. That's welcome to wait. Welcome to do what you want. This well worth waiting for a finish line, but if you want out, I'll take it off your hands. If he could turn $100 to $1 million, he'd be out wait, living his best life, not waiting for the moon like the rest of us. Look, I'm in a great situation, right? I'm not waiting for the moon. The moon, if it happens, then I'm grateful for it. I'm in a very, very comfortable spot that I don't really need to I don't need to be on live stream or making videos or waiting for the moon. I'm not at like that point, right? I am here, you know, just to talk about the things that I am doing, right? The things that I'm investing into, the prices that I'm looking for, and just to give you updates. So, and I'm even giving people updates on my dividend portfolio. Maybe not all of my portfolios, right? I'm not looking at my first and second retirement accounts, not giving out that information, but I am looking at the more public dividend account, the new traditional IRA that I have that I'm looking to set up for the next 30 years and show you guys the process and how much you can gain over 30 years, and how much it can grow over that time period. So hopefully I'm on YouTube for 30 years and you could see that full process. But yeah, I'm in a very comfortable spot. I'm holding strong on VeChain. I know a lot of people that are very excited about VeChain. I like the shirt. Thank you for saying that, Brandon. I appreciate it. Um, I love Avatar. I don't know how many times I've watched the the show, and now they have the Netflix show, which I don't like. So I don't understand, and this is off topic. I don't understand why so many people are just so upset with everything that's created. Everything, right? Just enjoy the freaking story. Before, like, everybody became a critic online, everybody wanted to be the movie guy. Everybody wanted to be that person to go to for information, whether you have 1 million followers or 10 million followers or however many on Twitter or whatever. Um, Before that, you had a lot less um, criticism out there. You had people that were critics and they were qualified to be critics, um, but you didn't have as many out there. But then you have for Avatar the first series, of live action. I thought it was really really good, right? I thought it was fantastic. There are people out there that absolutely hated it, and said that they ruined it, and same thing for The Last of Us series, that they ruined it. I liked it, right? I enjoy the storyline to it. It's like at this point, and if you're one of those people that absolutely criticized it, like just stop and just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like I'm a person that enjoys storylines. I just saw Anaconda with Erica yesterday, and I enjoyed it. But there are people that absolutely hated it, and I'm like, just just enjoy it. Just watch the movie. Like, don't go, this is cringe or whatever, right? It's not everybody's a critic. Everybody wants to be popular for something. So they're online criticizing everything. You don't see me. I'm on YouTube. I don't criticize every single investment that anybody makes, right? If you make an investment, you make that investment. If it's not for me, I'll just tell you that I don't own it. I'm not going to tell you that you can't make money from it. I'm not going to tell you it's the worst thing in the world, right? Because you could be making money out of that. Now, if a community comes through and I don't like the community because the community is unbearable, then yeah, I'll tell you that. But for things that I'm invested into, or even things that somebody else is invested to, I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin. I have some Bitcoin, whatever I can gather as like, uh, that's free or promotional or, um, affiliate marketing, whatever it is. I'll keep it for whatever the long term is there. But I'm not a big fan of it. But I don't downplay the fact that you can still make a lot of money with um, Bitcoin. I'm very tired. I need like an energy drink or something. I've been waking up like super early and then I feel like I haven't been getting enough sleep. But also, I'm like taking preemptive strikes on not trying to be sick. So I've been taking some like what is it like nighttime I think Mucinex medicine just so that I am not sick because this week is our first basketball game, or this Sunday is our first basketball game. So I'm excited. We had a scrimmage last night, and I know this is another thing that's off topic. We'll talk about crypto in a couple seconds. We had a scrimmage last night um, for basketball, and I don't know. We have some positives. We have some negatives. The positive is that we scored twice in that scrimmage. The negative is that we have a few girls that are two girls maybe that don't know what they're doing at the moment, and we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to make sure that they do know, and I think we're going to change things to where we don't run plays when they're in there. We just have them move. We don't run any of the plays that we came up with. We just have them move around, and if the ball comes to them, the ball comes to them. Um, but that's kind of what we're gonna have to do because they're confused as the basic whether they're on offense or they're on defense. And I'm like, if we have the ball, we're on offense, and they would go, wait, like this? And I'm like, no, that's defense. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, it's tough. It's third and fourth grade girls. So um, the the good news is again we scored twice. The bad news is both were by Harper. So I would like to be able to move the ball around. I would like to be able to get some of the taller girls a pass because I know Harper's not going to be able to drive down the lane every single time. Like they're going to cut that off. They're going to watch that pick and they're going to get around that pick. And when they get around it, then what's Harper going to do? She knows how to use her left hand. She never does though. I don't. She just dribbles with, and I think it's because she's thinking like, oh, I got to get around this person. She doesn't think I can do a crossover. So if they're over jumping the screen, I'll just tell her, hey, every time, don't even think about it, just do a crossover. They're gonna jump the screen, so crossover, go down the left side instead of the right side. So I don't know. It should be fun. Either way, as long as they're having fun, I'm not gonna be upset at them for missing an assignment or anything. Harper, I might be, but everybody else, I might not be upset at. It's a lot of pressure for Harps. I was telling her last night. I was like, it's a lot of pressure for her because she's in third grade, um, and it's a third and fourth grade league. So most of the girls, if not all of them, and her birthday is at the end of the year, so she's one of the youngest girls in her class in general. So she's one of the shorter girls that are playing on the team. Off the bench chaos. Yeah. as soon as as soon as we sub in, that's exactly what it is. Because me and the other coach were talking, and we were like, we were talking for a minute. He was like, I want to be nice, because, um, but as soon as we sub in the first time, it's gonna be bad. He was like, do we leave Harper in the entire time, or do we leave? Do we? Because there's two girls that are really good, um, and we can have them both in at the same time, but then we would have to sub one out and sub the other one back in and kind of not have both of them in at the same time, unless we're down by a lot, which from our rate of scoring, maybe we will be. Do they at least know how to pass the ball? Everybody knows how to pass the ball. So we have a play called, we have motion, right? Where we pass it to the right, the top will cut, the bottom, the one in the post will pull out, and then we'll kind of just rotate around that way, and then they can also pass it that way or to the right side and do the same thing. The starting five know how to do it to an extent. Some of them get confused as to what place they're in because one girl plays the post and she plays up in the on the wing, so she gets confused as to where she should be depending who's subbed in. So if that confusion happens, nobody knows where to go. But if that confusion doesn't happen, we know how to run motion and they know how to pass the ball. It's just they choose to pass the ball over somebody rather than through a passing lane. So it's a little weird there because Harper will be at the top of the key and she's like, oh, somebody's open. And then she'll see the defender right in front of her. Instead of like moving to the side, going through a passing lane, she'll go throw it over. Everybody collapses and everybody's jumping at that ball because it's up in the air. And I'm like, Harper, what are you doing? Dude, so you know, wasn't knocking you by any means. All I was saying, the 100 to a million is the same moonshot he's tired of waiting on. Didn't mean any disrespect. No, you done well. Yeah, um I don't think. Or wait, are you talking to me? I don't even know if you're talking to me. Dude, just so you know, I wasn't knocking you by any means. What I was saying was that the 100 to a million is the same moonshot he's tired of waiting on. Didn't mean any disrespect. I got you. I think there's more potential in XLM and H bar, but that's just my opinion. I mean, everybody has their own plays that they're bullish on, and I'm all for it, right? If you're bullish on, I don't know, ADA more than, there's people that are Bitcoin maxis, that are Ethereum maxis, that are XRP maxis, and anything, right? Solana, that love those positions, and we'll talk about those until the day that they die, right? They are for that. And I'm all for that, right? I'm okay with you picking your own position, because if you were picking your own position as your like end all be all, this is my go-to, you are setting a boundary for yourself and you have your own goals, you have your own plan. That's better than copying somebody else's plan, right? If somebody else is like, oh, you need to buy Bitcoin because of this, and this, and you're like, oh, I'm buying Bitcoin because of that person. Well, that's not a plan. That's just copying somebody. But if you believe that XRP and H bar have much more potential, I'm all for it, right? XLM is a great play. H bar is a great play. What do you think about VRA? Versity? Am I saying that for varsity? Probably I'm not saying that good at all. I think it's a good investment holding. Let me go ahead and check VRA. I have a feeling I checked it out before. This sits at a $6 million market cap. It's a $6 million market cap. Has a $2.7 million volume in the last 24 hours, and it's not up aggressively, which is good. That means that it typically sees around this level for the market cap, meaning that it has a bit of popularity in it, right? 42% volume to market cap ratio. It does have less than half the supply out there, so that's something that you have to worry about. It does have a total or a max supply of 200 billion, total supply of 98 billion, and then a circulating supply of 93 billion. So I don't know what's the difference between this, whether it has that max supply that's held somewhere, and the total supply is kind of what's left, or if that can still be introduced to the total amount, meaning that you could dilute it by half. Fully diluted value is still only 14 million though, so it could have some potential depending on different places that you can buy it. So it has 72 different pairs. OKX, it has Gate.io, Binance Alpha, you have KuCoin, you have some tier 1 exchanges as well as tier 2 exchanges. So it's good. You can see some decent volume. You don't have any S tier exchanges at the moment, like Binance or Coinbase. You don't have that. Let's look at the all-time high with this position, and maybe that came when you had a lower supply. The all-time high is 8 cents. It currently sits at 0.0000777160. It's down 28% for the week, and it's down 15% for the day. In the last month, it's down 73%, and in the year, it's down 98%. So definitely has fallen quite a bit from the high points that we saw in all history. It's down 90%. So again, we saw that high of 8 cents. We see that low of, wow, that's a really far drop. So from 8 cents all the way down to 407. If we look at the market cap, we can see that there was a massive amount of dilution that happened within it. So from a $361 million market cap to a $6 million market cap, it still did fall quite a bit. But to go from 8 cents all the way to, this low, 407, that doesn't make up the difference just because of the price drop. It had to have been a factor of adding in supply over time. So maybe that's what you will see, is still adding in that supply. But I'll say this, it is a very low market cap. So if you do have any potential or anything within the use case or anything that could push it up quite a bit, I wouldn't say that, oh, this can't get back to a 100, $200 million market cap, $300 million market cap, or even further. But again, that really depends on the things that they are doing, if they have anything in development. So I would probably, push away from this just because there's too many unknowns. A lot of times the unknowns are what makes things interesting, but this unknown, it has a large negative unknown, which is the supply and the addition of that supply, and whether it has something going for it, because you have 450,000 watch lists that this is on. People are talking about it. People are holding it. I haven't researched the popularity, but it looks like it could be pretty popular, right? 332,000 followers and still only looking at a $6.6 million market cap. Things don't line up there. So, yeah. Let's see. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys can hit the like button, I would greatly appreciate it. We have 31 likes. We have 53 people that are here. Also on TikTok, if you can just tap that screen. Thank you for the rose, Sith. I appreciate it. Thank you for the follow as well. 261 Crypto. Thank you for the follow, Salt and Light. I appreciate it. Where's that? Hope you can continue, or wait, and hope you continue to do even better in 2026. Just wanted to clarify. Well, thank you for the clarification. Any thought on Chainlink? I think Chainlink is a good play. It's a top play as well. I think Chainlink is a great play. It's number 12 by market cap. It's sitting at $13 and 20 cents. It's at a $9.3 billion market cap. I know it's involved in a lot of things. It doesn't have a massive amount of dilution, left on the table. You have $740 million worth of volume. Even in a day like this, you're still seeing an 8% volume to market cap ratio. Some of the highs that it's gotten to, right? The all-time high is $52.88. Again, it sits at a $13.70 mark. But has a decent amount of potential not only to get back to this $50 mark, but surpassing that, right? Most people will say in altcoin seasons and bull markets, a lot of the top altcoins and meme coins and Bitcoin will double to triple what their all-time high was, right, at those points. So I'm a believer of that. And to see this potentially get to a $100 price point or multiple $100 price point, I think people are kind of sleeping on it, right? This is a $20 billion market cap that honestly, in my opinion, should be worth upwards of $80 billion, if not more than that. With how much I've heard that this is involved in, yes, it doesn't translate to massive growth, but eventually it will. So I think Chainlink is a great play. I don't have any of it outright, and maybe I should. I think at one point I was looking at it, and I think it passed my level that I wanted to invest at, because I always want to see it from the bottom to grow a lot further. But I'm trying to think of exactly where this was. It might have been down here, at these prices. Let me go back to market cap. It might have been down here. I think it was below $10 that I was looking at it. And I think right now it's, at $13, which is not crazy. I could make that move if I wanted to and have it for the long term, which I think Chainlink will be a major play. And I probably should have some for a forever crypto. I have a bunch of forever cryptos, and I think this position should be included in there. So that might change soon. We'll see. Every time I say that, I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I want to invest into it, but I want to wait for my time to invest, even though it has a ton of potential. And it's going to go a lot further than people think. Uh, forever cryptos. So, do you want to know what forever cryptos are? So, these are cryptos that have utility and could be massive utility for the economy, for the world, in the future. So something like a Bitcoin that will always have that store of value. It doesn't have a massive use case in my opinion, but it will always have that store of value and will always be treated like if it's gold, right? It's a cryptocurrency that you hold forever, that you hold for a very long time, and it will provide your family with wealth. As you move along in the next decade or 2 decades or whatever. Same thing for an XRP. XRP can be heavily used as a transaction currency if they wanted to, as cross-border payments. It's something that also will have essentially a store of value, and it will grow based on the use that you have there and the scarcity of the total supply. So forever cryptos for me, examples of those would be a Bitcoin, a Ethereum, an XRP, a Solana, right? A BNB that runs that chain, a CRO, right? I have other ones that may not be as utilized right now, but could be utilized a lot later, and I believe they could, like a Jasmy coin or like an AVAX, a Cosmos, an ADA. I have all of those as my forever cryptocurrencies. However, that's only about 10% of my supply. So say for AVAX, right? Avalanche. I have over 500 Avalanche. Now, with having 500 Avalanche, I have 100 that's sitting over in my Ledger wallet. It's not worth a crazy amount, but I would expect in the future it's going to be worth a crazy amount. And that's where I'm holding that forever. I plan on putting it and setting it and forgetting it. As I have a newer investment that I can make, like a Chainlink, maybe I buy 100 of that, and then I have that as my one forever crypto. My phone's like. See, the problem with this phone is the fact that it has a smaller. It does have a smaller battery, because it is such a thin phone. I have the uh, Samsung Galaxy Edge not the old school edge, but the newer one where it's like really really thin. And I'm waiting for the Samsung the Edge 2026 so that I can, you know, obviously we'll have a bigger battery. All right. Give me a second. I gotta go wake up these kids, and I'll be right back down. I have to like, pause this live stream. What? Ah, I did hit pause. All right, I'm gonna pause the live stream. Give me a second. You pause this one as well. You guys can look at the screen and Chainlink and whatever. I might end up buying Chainlink. We'll see. Samsung gang. I mean, it's a great phone. I love it. Well, all of their phones. I've always had. Well, not always. For the most part, ever since I was with, um, I've been with Erica. We've had Samsung. I'll be back. Had to get back before 5 minutes because then this would stop. Um, so kind of tired going up and down the steps. 2 flights of steps, up and down. Um, Scarcity is an interesting word for XRP. Ripple dumps a million tokens into the market every month. So it's not about the amount that you have to add to the circulating supply. It's about the amount that you have left. So having a max supply means that you can never have more than what that max supply is. Right? Yes, you do have an escrow and you do have a certain amount that is being added. It was a billion a month, and then now it's not as much, right? I wanted them to add all of that in there, but now what could be the case, and I'll say could be, it's not necessarily will be, if we have XRP as the, let's say, world digital currency. The one thing that the US and honestly other countries do is have reserves of, money, reserves of their currency. So whatever's in circulation, they have that much in reserve in order to, make up for, I guess, any type of situation that could happen. So the same thing could also happen for, um, the US, as well as, other countries that's creating a crypto reserve, having a larger amount in XRP that's sitting in that reserve, rather than actually introducing that to the overall economy. And then if they do end up introducing it to the economy in the long run, right? Let's say XRP is at $100, and they're like, we're gonna introduce all of the supply, and it's gonna add, you know, basically another almost 100% of the supply. It would decrease the value of XRP from 100 to 50 at the same market cap. But then you would see all of the supply that is introduced giving no ability to have any type of reserve to say, you have a 1-to-1 ratio, right? So having a max supply, you can never have anything more than that supply. Same thing goes for Bitcoin. Um, Bitcoin, it's about the scarcity in the supply and being able to mine as much and all of that. But then honestly, when you get to a certain point, the now what do you utilize the mining rigs for that you built? And there are many different mining rigs that are out there. And then does it become useless to mine Bitcoin if Bitcoin, let's say, it gets stuck at like a stagnant price? But for XRP, I think there is scarcity in the max supply. I know what you mean. The escrow, a lot of people get worried about because they're adding the supply and they're diluting what XRP can be by adding that in there. But, you know, again, when we look at it, there could be massive reserves. That would be the best way for them to create a reserve, is get it from Ripple themselves rather than try and gather it from us. Because if they do a Fed buyback, let's say all of the cryptocurrency does get released before any type of reserve gets created, and XRP is the go-to, now there has to be a Fed buyback. Now there has to be something where the Fed is looking to obtain as much XRP as possible to utilize XRP as the world currency, or as a world digital currency. So there's a lot of scenarios, and not to say that one is going to work out more than the next, or if any of those are going to happen. But it definitely is interesting. Dude, your message disappear. Yeah, looks like he's retracting. I only got one AVAX. Hey, you never know what AVAX could be worth. What coin do you recommend? ROI, I've been in the less than a year. I'm doing okay, but I have a long way to go. So if we're talking about the coins that I like currently own that I would continue to buy or anything like that, I know some people are against YFI. I like where YFI is, and I like what it can give you. I have what do I have? Five. I have five YFI, something like that. I have like five YFI, and YFI has the potential to grow to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you know, there's a lot of negativity on that position where many people don't believe that it's going to even get sniff those levels again, even though it's a super low market cap. It's not a top cryptocurrency by any means, but it's one that I look into that has the risk associated with it, the growth and the reward associated with it, as well as utility to push it forward. It's just doesn't have like top five or top 25 utility, and that's where people go, you know what, it's not it. Right, so I like Wi-Fi. I also, let me see, go into some of my positions. I also really like SUI that I just started to purchase recently. I have 2000 SUI at the moment. I like, hmm, so I like Alchemix, but I know that also is something that people question. That's more of a risk to reward type of opportunity, as well as Magic and Loop Ring. API 3 is another play. But most of the ones that I really enjoy, that I talk about the most, are the ones that are the uh, top cryptocurrencies, right? XRP, like an Avalanche. Kronos is probably one of the lowest on that list, as well as Jasmine Coin being one of the lowest. Um, I have Cardano, I have Solana, I have, um, I think I said XRP already, but I have XRP. So I'm looking for the utility coins to see in that utility bull run. So that's kind of what I recommend. But you can also take some risks. They have meme coins that if you feel as though they're worth buying into, buy into those meme coins. And that's where you kind of struggle with, do you buy the top meme coins or do you buy the lower end meme coins that are at like $1 million or $10 million? Because $10 million, if it actually has as much potential as it's made out to be, it could be, a 100x gainer for you. $1,000 into, $100,000. That could be the case. But it has to be a sure thing. You can't just go, oh, this person said it's going to 100x, so it definitely is going to 100x. No, it has the potential to do that, but it doesn't mean that it will. You know, what's the likelihood that it will? I look back and it's crazy how low I bought a lot of my cryptocurrency, but then still how I'm in the red on some of those cryptocurrencies. So for like how low I bought AVAX for, I was like, this is, I'm not gonna be losing money. I'm gonna make a bunch of money from this. AVAX is gonna grow to $100 per coin, and I think it still will. But it's just like it's insane to think that you bought at the low and it wasn't actually at the low. SUI is an interesting one. If they get into gaming space, that could be big. Yeah, I think there's a lot of gaming cryptocurrencies for sure that I thought would easily break out. And again, we haven't seen altcoin season, so we could still see that push. But you know, so YFI is Yearn Finance. It currently is on the second or third page of CoinMarketCap. It's sitting at a $3,534 price point. In all history, it is only up by 236%. The highest price that we saw for YFI was $93,435.53. So it's one of those ones that really has the potential to grow very fast. The lowest point was $739.44. The reason why it's so high in price is not because it hit a ridiculously high market cap. The current market cap at 3,500 is sitting at a $124 million market cap. So you can tell that the reason why it's so high in price is because of the low supply. It has a total of 36,000 coins in supply. I'm not joking by saying that. 36,000 coins in supply. Um, Not 36 million, not um, not 360 million, nothing, right? You're talking about not 360,000. You're talking about 36,000 coins. Thank you for following ETV. I appreciate it. That's where that comes in handy, and we've seen places. It has two S tier exchanges. It has 163 other trading pairs that are there. The highest price again, $93,000. I want to see if maybe another platform has it. Let me see if I can go over to BTCC because I like looking at like trading view for these positions. Come on. Come on, man. There we go. Sometimes I feel like it's my internet. Sometimes. I don't know if Wi-Fi is even available over here. It is. Maybe I need to make a trade in the Wi-Fi. All right. Let's see. Let's go to. Oh, we'll look at the day. We'll break this down and look at auto. This isn't really tracking it right. It only tracks it from 2020, December 2022. So it's not tracking it far enough back. Yeah, it's not tracking it far enough back. So maybe I can go to trade view. And we can look at it there. Go to symbols, crypto. Can I just type it in, man? Here, I'm going to change it. YFI. YFI to USDT. Sure. All right, so then I'm going to change this to 5 year. No, we'll look at 5 year. All right, so if we look at the 5 year mark, you can see here that it has grown to a $95,000 price. Yes, it did retrace within the next month. I don't know exactly what the time period is, but I believe this is Monday, May 10th, and this is Monday, May 17th. So it did retrace after maybe like a week, and that was in 2021 when everything really started to retrace. So you got to a high price of $95,000, and I think you can go a lot further than that. I wish I could see what the actual market cap was at that high, but it says that the market cap highest point was $2.4 billion at that high price of, it says 65,000, but it was 95,000. So let's say that it was around $2 or $3 billion worth of a high, and I think it can be worth that again, if not way more than that. So I'm looking for $100,000, $200,000 price point for Wi-Fi. Shiba is dropping. Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, everything is dropping, but what's falling kind of the most? You see meme coins that are down a decent amount, 6% or so. But XRP is also down by about 8%. Bad Toshi, bad Toshi. What is that? Toshi ain't moving for me. Honestly, I think I should move this desk because I'm like right near the what is that? the litter box, and it's bothering me. The litter box is right over there. I should probably move this desk again and move it over there and take away that TV, or use the TV. I could use that TV as like another monitor or a larger monitor. It's not a bad idea, but I would have to take this away. I'm gonna have to redo down here again. Because I think what I should do, I have this thing that's attached to the wall that's kind of like a three cubby system. I think I should take that off the wall, move the desk and put that over there, and then move the monitor to come out, or the screen to come out, and utilize that as a part of my desk setup as well. Because I have three monitors here. But right now it's just like a mess. I love CRO. It's been good for me. I like CRO as well. I did have to average down in order to get my cost basis down, but right now it's below my cost basis anyways. My cost basis is 12 cents, and it currently sits at 9.9 cents. So I really do like CRO. I'm a big fan of it. It was one of my first positions, one of my first major utility positions. Um, Thank you for the follow, Daniel. I appreciate it. Good morning. Any reason why we are in the red today? So crypto crashing. Here's some information about it. So key market movements: Bitcoin sliding as Asian markets sell off, with reports of significant selling from miners like Riot. Ethereum, let me go back here. Ethereum is showing some resilience with positive developments like increased data capacity and institutional interest in spot ETFs, though still affected by the broader dip. XRP experienced a notable drop. It's great to see XRP in the like top movers because it is the third largest cryptocurrency in the world, which is fantastic. But it experienced a notable drop after a strong run, with some analysts calling it a pullback from being the hottest trade. I guess that's kind of true because XRP went from a $1.80 something cent mark all the way up to a $2.40 mark very quickly. Macro factors: broader market weakness, especially in tech stocks like NASDAQ futures, that impact crypto prices. So I have to check the stock market as well because I haven't seen what the pre-market looks like. But the market open, obviously hasn't happened. Yesterday, I don't think I saw a positive day, but we'll have to check again. Um, Bitcoin ETF outflows. Some Bitcoin ETFs saw significant redemptions, uh, indicating reduced demand. Miners selling. Major Bitcoin mining operations are selling holdings, adding to downward pressure. And I think that may be a big deal. Pushing away from mining, do you feel like those mining rigs are just going to be, not utilized? Like people are going to start like selling those mining rigs, and they're going to go for less and less because um, no one likes that Bitcoin is so energy intensive, right? That it needs to utilize a lot of energy in order to, um, what? Yeah, it needs to utilize a lot of energy in order to mine, a lot of Bitcoin. Some analysts suggest that markets is taking a breather and consolidating after a strong rally, with investors reassessing risk, which also is true. Like you have the markets that moved by quite a bit, where you have things like XRP that even though it's down 8% today, it's still up 12.5% in the last 7 days. You have other things like SUI, it's up 25% in the last 7 days, but then down 7% today. So um, you're gonna have the markets, retrace from some of those decent increases that we have seen. But I don't think that's all of it. Caspa is going to do big things. Which Caspa are you talking about? The one with the C or the one with the K? Isn't there a Caspa? Oh, there's Casper, and then there's Caspa. So which Casper are you talking about? The one with the K, or are you talking about the Casper? Because you kind of combined both of them. Casper is sitting at a $67 million market cap, but Caspa is at like a $2 billion market cap, which I have. I have Caspa. I don't have Casper. Look at Canton Network, CC Coin. Um, I think somebody was telling me about that yesterday, and that's one of those privacy coins, right? Which sits at 23 on the list by market cap. It's sitting at a 5.12 billion dollar market cap with 28 million dollars worth of volume. The volume to market cap ratio is very low. Um, Also, there's a max. What is going on up there? This dog is always bothering the cats. Always bothering the cats. And she probably got scratched. That's, I mean, that's what she gets. Emmy, Emmy, come here. Come here. Down here. All right, stay up there then. If you don't want to come down here, stay up there. I'm telling you that the dog needs to learn. She doesn't. That dog is ready for a walk. No, they're not ready for a walk. She just got scratched. I'm 100% sure that's exactly what happened. What she does is Spencer will deal with it until a certain point. So Spencer will just will sit there, and Emmy will just like gnaw on his face, like just try and say like, do something, do something, do something. And then he's like, all right, I had enough of this. Gotcha. I'm sure she got her eye scratched out or something. But she's definitely like super sensitive. If she knows she did something wrong and I go over there, go close to her, and even like try and pet her like or whatever, she just thinks that like I don't know, like something's gonna happen. I'm like I'm not doing it. Like go outside, get outside. And she's super sensitive with everything. ROI, check that out for what? Meta X UI. But anyways, Canton Network is down by 4% today. 4.5%, 4.45%. Um, it is at a $5.1 billion market cap with $28 million worth of volume. The volume to market cap ratio is very, very low. I don't like the fact that they have a max supply of infinite amount, but there's only 37 billion coins in circulating supply, so maybe that's good. We'll look at all history. Sorry, it's down by 4.5% in all history. Um, this has only been available since November, so you really only have 2 months to really go off of. Not much information, not much history behind it, so you don't really have whether it is like diluting or anything with that unlimited max supply. But I would have to look into kind of what it does. It's not available in any S tier exchanges, so you're not seeing volume based on that, but you are seeing availability on Kraken, on KuCoin, MEXC, and things of that nature. So that's a good thing. But you need to see some of those like higher tiered exchanges in order to see that volume that we want to see. All right, let me quick go get these kids some breakfast. How long have we been live? About an hour and some change. I'll go make these kids some breakfast. I will be right back. Make sure that I don't know if Hayden is even ready. Give me a second. Somebody said something about a rug pull. Do you think, speaking of breakfast, might get me a bowl? Yeah, the microwave just finished. I think I'm gonna have to end the live stream over on TikTok, but I appreciate you guys for being here. It's just easier because it keeps going. Anytime like I would pause it or anything like that, it's like 5 minutes go by. And I have to keep pausing it, especially when I'm trying to get the kids ready. So I'm gonna end this over here. I'm still live on YouTube, but I have to go finish giving them food. The microwave just finished with they're eating a breakfast sandwich. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. All right, so that's a lot for TikTok. Um, but again, I'll be back. Sorry to keep going back and forth, but I'm gonna give them breakfast. I'm gonna come back down here, and then I'm gonna go upstairs and get their hair done, and get them on the bus, and then I'll be back until like 9 o'clock. So, all right, and we'll look at where the market is going. I want to look closer at the stock market to see how that translates to the crypto market, because from what I saw, there may be some stock or some broader market issues there. So I'll be back. All right. How you doing? I'm back. I'm back. All right. So we got 30 people that are here. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that stuff. Let's see if anything crazy is happening in the market. Um, it got lit. That's up by 4% today. It's good to see in the down market. Chillis, whatever it is also up by about 3% today. Cosmos is up by 2%, 25% for the last 7 days. World Liberty Financial is up by 2%. Canton is up by 1%. So you got some things that are positive, some things slightly positive, but then majority of the market, right, down by 2.7%. Not necessarily looking the best for the overall market, or depending how you look at it, right? It might be an opportunity for you. You might see it as the next best thing or something, right? So not bad. I'm here for like I don't even know if I could say 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes. And I got to do their hair. So I saw something that Wisdom Tree abandoned its XRP ETF amid institutional demand rise. So let's see what happened in ETF withdrawal. Wisdom Tree formally withdrew its registration statement for the Wisdom Tree XRP fund under the Securities Act of 1933. The firm requested withdrawal of all exhibits and amendments, effectively resetting its regulatory clock and avoiding potential formal rejection from the commission. Wisdom Tree stated it has determined not to proceed at this time with the offering covered by the registration statement. The withdrawal mirrors BlackRock's approach to altcoin ETFs, though no direct connection exists between the two firms. BlackRock has avoided both XRP and Solana ETF filings, maintaining focus exclusively on Bitcoin and Ethereum products despite the 2026 altcoin ETF rush. Why it matters. On January 6th alone, XRP ETF recorded $19.12 million in net inflows, led by Franklin Templeton's XRPZ at $7.3 million, Canary's XRPC at $6.4 million, and Bitwise with $3.5 million. Doesn't seem like a lot. Yet XRP traded at $2.25 at press time, down 4.9% in 24 hours, revealing a disconnect between institutional capital flows and spot price performance. Standard Chartered issued one of the most aggressive institutional calls for XRP last year, setting an $8 price target for the end of 2026. The bank's head of digital asset research noted that improving U.S. regulatory clarity has made it easier for institutions to take exposure, and has given Ripple and the XRP ecosystem room to build without constant litigation and risk. $8 or the $8 target implies approximately 300% upside from current levels, underscoring the stakes for institutional adoption throughout 2026 despite Wisdom Tree's retreat. That's interesting. But the inflows doesn't really seem like a lot for January 6th seeing 19.12 million dollars of net inflows. Doesn't seem like a crazy amount. Are the pullbacks dilution or genuine pullbacks? So it looks like they're genuine pullbacks based on the movement that we've seen in the market the prior days. So seeing all the positions run, you know, um, whatever it is, could be XRP, could be Solana, could be whatever, run by tens of percent, and some even high tens of percent, um, you see a decent pullback depending on how far it has run up. So XRP is down by 7.6%. It's still up by 12% over the last 7 days, but it's down by 7.6%. It was up to a $2.40 price point, meaning that seeing a retracement, you're going to see that. It's just these retracements get heftier and heftier. I saw this that I wanted to kind of go through. Maybe I'll go through in a video, but thought it was pretty interesting of a title. Was XRP's price engineered to hit $12,000? That's something that um, really makes it clickable, right? I want to click it and I want to see what the plan is here, how far that can go. Let's look at my watch list really quick. I also wanted to look at the stock market. Let me see if I can tie that into it. I don't really have any major movers. MXC is down by 27%. That's at a $31,000 market cap. That might have been a very bad investment. $26,000 worth of volume. Book of Meme, while that was up quite a bit, just like Pepe was, it is down 8%. Bonk is down 8%. Swift is down 8%. XRP is down 8%. Caspa is also down 8%. Jasmine down 8%. I'm rounding up here. GameStop is down by 7%. Terra Classic 7%. Chronos 6%. So there's a lot of red in my watch list. A lot of huge pullbacks. We're looking at Wi-Fi, right? Yeah, let me take Wi-Fi away. Do. So are we gonna see, altcoin season? That's really what I wanna see. I wanna see, everything start to really take off. But again, I have to keep reminding myself to be patient. I'm very patient, but I have to keep reminding myself every time. Patience will pay off. Sure, the pullbacks are good if you believe in your coins long term. Good news. Yeah, I think pullbacks aren't bad at all. It's just the way people look at them. Majority of people looking at them, they go, all right, well, here we go. We're in a bear market, right? Everything's over. The end of the world is happening. There's much more than that, right? There's um, so much potential in the markets, and to see that these altcoins haven't hit their highs, haven't hit their levels where we know they can get to and they should get to. Um, there's so much potential left on the board. Let me go and do these girls' hair. Um, and this is do these girls' hair, both their hair. I'm gonna do their hair, and I'll be back. And um, I guess it'll probably be 8:20 that I'll be back. So if you're here, you're here. If you're not here, then hopefully you have success in the market. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. But I'll be back. Let's see if I can write something on the screen. Ah, that's way too much. What is going on here? Make it yellow. That'll be good. That's not right. I don't like that. Make it red. Perfect. All right. So that'll be on the screen. All right, guys. Do your hairdressing. Wait. Do your hairdressing to pay for crypto? I don't know what that means, but I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll be right back. So, hey, let me know if you can hear this fan over here. I have a fan on right now. Let me know if you can hear this fan or if it's like subtle. Because, like I said before, I'm like down in the basement. This is where my like office is and my studio is. Um, but also like the cat litter boxes are like right over there. It's very subtle. Okay, so it's not like super loud or it's a problem, is it? I'll probably only have it on for like maybe 5 minutes because it's cold anyways. Can you guys stop fighting? These cats are always, well, it's just Daisy. She's older. She's a weird cat. All right. Anyways, let's see if we can refresh this and see what's happening in the crypto world. Oh, I wanted to go over investing to see where the market is today compared to where it was. So yesterday I was up to 190,000 in my dividend portfolio. Let me see. I was up to 190,000 in my dividend portfolio, and now it's at like 188.6K. So we definitely saw a decrease, but then again, it was up for a while, or it was up a lot. So I don't know. Maybe the cutoff is just weird, but I was up to 190,000 at one point. It was great. If I look at year to date, I'm still up by about 1%, but I was up by 1.6% or about $3,000 plus. So definitely the market is coming back quite a bit. If I wanted to look at the SPY, I don't have the SPY on my list. I forgot I don't invest into the SPY on this portfolio. If I look at the SPY, it's down by 50 cents or 0.07%. So some negativity. Are we going to see that? Is that why, we're seeing that kind of translate to the crypto market? I don't know if that's necessarily 100% the reason, but I think it's more or less on the retracements that we've seen from the high points for crypto. Yeah, that's it gets cold down here very, very quickly. Um, XRP is rubbish coin. You think it's a rubbish coin? I don't know if you're still here, but I don't think XRP is. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? I'm not going to tell you that you can't believe XRP is not a good play, but in my opinion, XRP is a great play. That's why I've invested a lot into it. That's why we've seen the movement that we've seen, and we're going to continue to see that. And no matter what, you're not going to make everybody happy with the plays that you buy or the things that you're in, right? If I, let's say I was dribbling the basketball and I did a basketball move where I took 2 steps and laid it up, there might be people that just come around and go, you know what? That was a horrible move and you should have did something else, even though I scored, right? Um, yeah, I could have done something else, and there's a chance I could have done something else, but I scored the basketball. So that's the ultimate positive. That's the same thing with like XRP in a way, where just because it doesn't do the same thing that you believe in to be the best thing in crypto doesn't mean that it doesn't have its own use case to be very successful, right? So, um, I don't think XRP is rubbish. I don't think XRP is, um, a failure coin or a failure project. I don't think XRP is going to zero. I think, um, and I'll say think because it is my opinion, just like it is yours. I really do think XRP is going to be the best thing in the crypto market. But that's again my opinion on where I believe things are going to go. Because XRP has a lot going for it. Yes, it is sitting at a $2 mark, but not too long ago it was at a 30 cent, 40 cent, 50 cent mark. And many people that were in the same place to say that uh, XRP is not it. It's not even going to get back to a 30, or it's not even going to surpass Solana, let alone surpass, Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I think that we're going to see a lot of people be wrong very soon. XRP is going to be worth a lot more than those people think. Maybe a little bit less than people that are insanely bullish on XRP, like somebody that's like, oh, this is going to $30,000. It might be worth a lot less than that, but doesn't mean that because it's not worth $30,000 doesn't mean that it's not a success, right? It is a success. It already has experienced success, right? Getting past the level of a dollar, a lot of people believed that wasn't going to happen. A lot of people didn't see that it was going to get past $100 billion, and it's sitting at 126. Getting to $200 billion. Again, that's a massive move for XRP. But again, if you guys want to sign up for BTCC, that link is in the chat. It is a great platform that I've been using for about a year, over a year. You get a 10% deposit bonus if on your first time deposit. You can get an extra bonus up to $10,055, up to 40% lower trading fees, and you can trade all the way up to a 500x leverage. So, and there's no VPN, no KYC that's required. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the chat. It will also be in the description, and you guys can give that a look. Let me see what's happening in the crypto market. Crypto news. So some news in crypto right now. XRP crashes 15% in 2 days as ETF outflows hit 41 million. Is the rally over? I'll say no, that's not over. You're going to see retracements. You're going to see a pullback. XRP whales surge as Ripple pushes back on IPO rumors. I've been hearing about IPO, or the Ripple IPO, and a decent amount of times. BlackRock bets big on crypto with $1.02 billion in Bitcoin and Ethereum, buy amid volatility. Crypto fails to find support for a breakout. Trump family crypto company applies for banking charter. I don't know what that does. Stripe and Crypto.com bring seamless crypto payments to the web. That's good news. I'll have to focus on that. Let's see if we can find some other stuff that's going on. Is there any Lunic news that I haven't seen? Pundit says XRP utility will win the decade. I like that too. Come on, man. Why can't I move this? What? What's going on here? There we go. Trump family crypto company applies for banking charter. Yeah, we already went into that. Bitcoin will surge to $315,000. Claims investors as Morgan Stanley files for BTC ETF. Morgan Stanley files for a Bitcoin ETF. Goldman names top 2026 crypto picks. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet right now. Everything is moving super slow. Is the live stream okay? We got 34 people that are here. If you guys can hit the like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Does help out the channel and growth and all that stuff. All right, all right, all right. There we go. Morgan Stanley files for Bitcoin ETF. Goldman Sachs names top 2026 crypto picks. I feel like I always get weary of anybody naming their top crypto picks. Um, at least when I talk about my top altcoins or anything like that, I say um, this is these are the positions that I have. These are the ones that I like and the ones that I hold, right? So, but this is like here's my top crypto picks, but secretly we have literally millions of dollars. Positive news, crypto continues this week after Bitcoin on Monday surged to above $94,000. Morgan Stanley, and I guess this is from yesterday or 2 days ago. Morgan Stanley on Tuesday files for Bitcoin and Solana exchange traded funds as ETF flows rebound. Goldman Sachs, in a new report, selected its crypto winners for 2026. Core Scientific rose on an upgrade. So Morgan Stanley, they talk about the S1 filings, Securities and Exchange Commission on Tuesday for Morgan Stanley Bitcoin Trust and Morgan Stanley Solana Trust. Now, the Bitcoin Trust intends to track the price of Bitcoin, net of fees and expenses. The trust plans to hold Bitcoin directly, which it will purchase with cash. So hold Bitcoin directly, which it will purchase with cash from the unnamed designated third party. Similarly, Morgan Stanley Solana Trust will track the price of Solana and hold the token directly following purchases from a third party source or third party. The Solana Trust also includes staking feature. Staking involves locking up a portion of your crypto holdings to support blockchain operations in exchange for rewards or interest in proof of stake system. That's interesting. So does that mean that it will be one of the first ETFs that pays some sort of a dividend in a way? Morgan Stanley will list the ETFs on a national exchange. The firm has not yet announced a launch date or tickers for the funds. Meanwhile, spot Bitcoin ETFs generate $697 million in inflows on Monday, according to Farside investor data. That marked the highest amount since October 7th, which saw $875 million in inflows. I think I might have Emmy's appointment. Oh, Emmy's appointment's at 9. All right, so I have to get out of here. I didn't even know that. I thought it was at 10. Um, how'd you buy your GDLC looking, or how's my GDLC looking, Matt? Let me take a look at that real quick. If I go to my retirement, I think it's not looking the best. It's at $43.49. It still is down about $821 overall, which is not horrible, but it's also not the best situation. It's the main reason why my retirement account is down, but it's not something that I'm looking at in the short term. I'm looking at in the long term. Let me warm up this car because I have to go and just take her. I forgot it was at 9. I thought it was at 10 because we were going to schedule it for Wednesday at 10:30, and we changed it to 9. Shoot. Because, yeah, I'm starving though. I didn't eat anything. So we'll have to take a look at this. I would love to look at Jasmine and get into some more stuff here, but I do have to at least eat some sort of breakfast and then leave. So I apologize. I thought I would have enough time. I wouldn't have even made you wait here for throughout getting their hair done if I knew that I had to leave at 9. Um, but I appreciate you guys for being here. I apologize for anybody that has waited around and waited for some news and some information, and just some conversation. But I'm gonna have to get out of here. I'll post some videos later or go live later. We'll see. And